Well, welcome to the power of a documented vision to drive your reliability strategy. My name is Eric Ajanegi. I'm one of the directors of operations engineering at Cintas Corporation. And along with my colleague, Tommy Kokenauer, we are going to walk you through the journey that Cintas went through from the development of our initial documented reliability vision to where we're at today, where we just recently drafted our second reliability vision. Not only that, but then along the presentation, we will share with you how we went about creating the different tenets that made our reliability vision and how we used that documented reliability vision to steer our reliability strategy into a successful program. So before we get started, let's agree as to why is a documented vision statement important. You know, many organizations have a vision statement of some kind. So we are not unique in that sense. But so why are they important? Well, first of all, you know, a documented vision or mission statement, as some companies may call it sometimes, you know, they paint a picture of the future, what you want that future state to be of your department, of your company, or your organization, of your team. And then also, you know, if it is done right, it is if the mission statements or the vision statements will set a long-term goal for either the organization, for the subset of the team, etc. So the goal should be reachable, but not right away. It should be something that stretches your organization and stretches your team to grow into the goal. And then, you know, it's easy once it's documented that it's easy to then communicate it so that then everybody understands or reads the same vision statement, that the interpretation is the same, so that as a team, you can all row in the same direction at the same speed and with the same goal. And then obviously it provides an inspiration. And here at Cintas, I can tell you that our vision statements that we have for different departments serve as inspiration because, you know, these are lofty goals. These are the goals that perhaps you're setting as a department or as a strategy of your company to be best in class, to be best among your other locations, to be best within your organization. So it serves as inspiration for everybody to then bring their best, bring their A game as they participate in your reliability, in your vision statement. But more importantly, it provides the aim, right? It makes sure that everybody's pointed in the right direction, that everybody is aiming towards the same goal, and the goal may have subsets, but that the overall and general goal is the same for the organization. So why is a documented reliability vision statement important? And I'll tell you that, you know, for our organization, it had many different benefits. First of all, for us, it definitely, you know, helped us describe the future state of our reliability program, what we want our reliability program to be. Now, we created our reliability statement program, our original one, close to 10 years ago. We just didn't know how long it was going to take us to achieve some of our reliability vision statements, but nevertheless, our reliability vision documented just painted a rosy picture of the future state of our reliability program. Then, you know, it definitely provided direction for many of the reliability strategies that we implemented. Because then once we committed to that, to maybe some strategies or some of the verbiage on that vision statement, then we were committed to it. And so that meant that we had accepted at least to participate in whatever the reliability strategy or reliability area of emphasis that we had listed in our reliability vision statement. Also for us, it serves as a very clear and very effective way to communicate the reliability strategy to basically everybody in the organization, from the CEO all the way to our frontline operators, the people that basically utilize the equipment, to our technicians, to our managers, so that everybody understood, hey, listen, this is what we're all trying to achieve. And it was easy to communicate, especially because it was documented and we published it in poster form, and then we distributed it through our organization. And then, again, I mentioned it earlier, for us, it provided great inspiration. Because at the point where we launched our reliability vision, we were not in the place where organization typically would like to be, which is top of class, best in class, you know, top of industry and best in industry. and we were not in reliability. So definitely this reliability, documented reliability vision for us serves as a great inspiration. And then again, just like we mentioned in the previous slide, it provided a very realistic aim as to what we were trying to achieve as a whole, what we were trying to achieve as a company when it came to our reliability strategy. And little did we know that years later we would then learn from the Uptime Elements Asset Management Framework that that's actually one of the first steps that you need to have for an effective reliability program. For us, we kind of fell into it naturally because we knew that we started with a vision statement. Then everything else would then follow, and it would follow effectively because everybody would know what we're trying to achieve. So for the rest of this presentation, we'll take you through our story, how we used our reliability vision to be a leader in our industry, and in many respects, a global leader in reliability leadership. But so again, we used our documented reliability vision to explain our aim and what was Cintas trying to achieve. And at the time that we developed our reliability vision, where we wanted to be as far as reliability strategy and effectiveness seemed like climbing Mount Everest. We were definitely, forget base camp. We were at the base of the mountain, and we knew where we wanted to get, which was to the summit. But we just didn't know how. We just didn't know which paths to take, what tools to take with us. So by having a reliability vision statement, we were able to then guide our strategy to determine, okay, we'll agree with everybody as to what strategies were going to be the most important to us. We were able to then use it to then teach, train, and develop our people that we were going to need on our journey, so that they would be prepared for the challenges that our journey was going to definitely throw at us, for sure. And then we also used our documented reliability vision statement to develop systems and procedures and several processes that helped us along the way. And then that morphed into impacting other business processes that maybe at times we did not really know immediately that were affected by reliability, and especially reliability vision, which was, as an example, human capital management. There were many items related to human resources that we had to clean up before we launched our reliability program. But the one thing for sure that we used our documented vision for was to overcome obstacles, because as many of you that might have launched some sort of reliability program at times, you faced obstacles of funding, you faced obstacles of buy-in, you faced obstacles of having people give you the machines to work on, give you people to train, give you resources to launch your program, allow you to purchase tools and equipment that you would use to launch some of your reliability strategies. And so having a documented reliability vision agreed upon by everybody made those conversations a lot easier and made overcoming those obstacles that much easier as well. But in a nutshell, we used our reliability vision strategy and a reliability vision statement to make sure that everybody would remember where we were headed. We were headed to the summit of our reliability Everest, which meant be one day recognized for doing the right thing. So in 2008, which was the impetus, kind of the launching point for Cintas and our reliability program, this is really the catalyst of what triggered it. So in 2008, many of us will remember that there was a financial crisis, and that financial crisis affected our company just like it affected many other companies. And so just like any other company, our company needed to conserve cash. In 2008, we looked at asset management. There's an opportunity here to save money, because clearly we're sometimes making the wrong decisions, and we're clearly sometimes replacing equipment prematurely, and many other issues related to whether it's equipment or buildings that we were not doing right. Definitely, we needed to move from basically maintenance and then establish a reliability strategy, which we did not have. Move from mostly reactive strategy type of company to a more proactive when it comes to asset management. And then also start educating our company to view asset management, when done properly, as instead of a cost, as an investment, particularly in the long term. And so we knew in 2008 we needed to do something, but we didn't know what. So in 2009, we had the opportunity to visit with different industry professionals, reliability professionals at the IMC conference. And it gave us an opportunity to benchmark other companies, to benchmark other industries, so that we would know what the possibilities are, what kind of strategies were out there to help us solve the problems that we needed to solve within our organization. And what did we find after we attended the reliability, the International Maintenance Conference? Hey, we for sure were reiterated that we needed to have an aim, we needed to have a vision. We also learned that we needed to educate our stakeholders that reliability is not about just the engineering department and the maintenance department trying to solve reliability problems. We learned that it starts at the top with having executive support, and it also to the front line to make sure the operators and people that work in the plant, the management members and so forth, that have some sort of understanding of what reliability can do to help the business. And then we needed to make sure that if we drafted a reliability vision, that it needed to address our key deficiencies that we knew at the time that we had. And then also make sure that that vision painted a good state of future, a good future state. We wanted to make sure that if we are going to take our company, we were going to take our company on a tough, difficult, challenging journey, that at least it will lead to a place that will be productive. And so again, we all knew we needed to have an aim, we needed to have a vision, and so we developed our first reliability vision, which again we drafted it just around 2009, so it's been around for a little over 10 years. And so at that time, when we drafted this vision, there were many things that were not in place that we decided those were the items that were going to be listed on our vision. So first of all, why do we list all partners needed to understand the critical need for outstanding reliability? It's because our partners did not. Reliability was not well understood in our company in many levels. Mainly just maybe some of our engineering folks understood what reliability meant. Maybe some of our technicians from prior experiences in other companies where they maybe had been exposed to a more robust reliability programs, but definitely as a company, we did not have a strategy. We definitely did not have at that time, executive level understanding of reliability and the benefits that it could bring to the company. And then, very importantly, we did not have a robust training and development program on reliability for all levels. Another tenet that we had elected to add to our reliability vision was every location is effectively staffed to achieve high levels of reliability compliance. So first of all, effectively staffed. That does not mean quantity. It means the right people and the right quantity of people. Well, at that time, we didn't even have a way of determining or what the qualification of our technicians were. They were all kind of pulled into one job description. We did not have qualifiers based on skill. We had qualifiers based on tenure. Also, we did not have a way of establishing a based on workload, what should the technician staffing plan for each one of our locations, which at that time we had approximately 165 industrial sites, and at that time we had approximately 500 technicians. And then also very importantly, we did not have a robust training and development plan for our technicians. So our technicians, might have stayed at a particular level of skill for a long time because we did not push them. We did not have a training curriculum for them so that we could accelerate their training and development. We were basically at the mercy of on-the-job training, which at times was effective, but it was definitely not time effective because it took too long for technicians to become proficient. Another tenet that we chose to add to our reliability vision was every location eliminates unplanned equipment downtime. And the reason why is because, at that time, we had a lot of equipment that was basically not properly maintained, or if it was maintained lightly because it was, convenient at that time, would run to failure. Also, we did not have standardized PMs. In fact, we did have many outages of equipment very often, and some were either expensive, long-lasting, or impactful to our individual operations. So what we would call showstoppers. And then also very importantly, we did not have at that time a computerized maintenance management software, which we learned early on once we launched our reliability strategy that it is a must, especially for a company like ours that is a multi-site type of organization with 165 different sites. We at that time had about 165 different ways of tracking maintenance. It varied anything from somebody having a spreadsheet, somebody having checklist, to maybe a couple maybe went out and got maybe would have without the corporate engineering sanctioning might have contracted a basic software for computerized maintenance management software, but in general, as a corporation, we did not have a strategy. Another one of the elements that we added to our vision was every location maximizes asset life to increase profits. We added that because, again, we had mostly a preventive maintenance strategy at that time. That was mostly of our activity. So because of that, we had premature asset replacements. We had several examples in which complete equipment systems were replaced with what at that time we considered, premature. I mean, our current definition of premature is now an order of magnitude of 3 times longer. We expect our equipment to last 3 times longer now. But back then, we just wanted at least the equipment to last at least its depreciation time. And we had several instances of equipment not even lasting that long. And then also at that time, especially those stakeholders, those purse holders as well, the ones that would have to authorize overtime, that would have to authorize spare parts, to authorize equipment to be offline, to be properly maintained. Those individuals at that time were not educated enough on reliability and viewed asset management in reliability as a cost, but not as an investment. So, our focus was not in the right place. And lastly, and this one is the one that hit our pride and our ego, is, we knew that at that time, at least in our industry, we were not leader in best. In fact, we learned from our vendors that actually roam around different companies in our certain industry that get to experience the equipment and the equipment programs, the equipment management, maintenance management programs of other organizations and of other companies, will let us know that Big Bad Cintas, the smaller independent companies are taking better care of their equipment than you are. So we took that one up the chin. And then also we learned by just understanding what we were doing that we were basically doing maintenance when it was convenient, when it did not take too long to perform, when it did not impact production too long, etc. So, and again, also, we had no KPIs. So we were monitoring our performance based on who had the lowest cost, not who was performing the best. So basically, per the previous slides, we made sure that the reliability vision statement that we created would address the issues that we knew were most affecting our performance, that were most affecting our ability to produce a quality product, to have safe equipment, to have productive plants. And at this point, I'm going to turn over the presentation to my colleague, Tommy Kokenauer, that will take you through some of the initiatives that we implemented after we rolled out our initial reliability vision.
All right, thank you, Eric. Eric has mentioned a lot of things, as you noticed all through this reliability vision part in red boxes. It's what we didn't do, what we didn't have. And really the things that led us into the need for developing the reliability vision. And really, when we started to do this, we had to be brutally honest with ourselves. And if you're not brutally honest with yourselves on what you're good at and what you don't have, your vision won't really have the meat that it needs to help you get forward. So that was a real important part, is we had to all sit around the room, walk around our plants, and just look at each other and say, we're not good in those respects. So I get the good part of the presentation. Eric brought you the part of the presentation that where we were really in failure mode. We couldn't spell reliability. And I get to bring you up on the successes that we had. So back to our vision that we did develop as we got it down to these 5 key statements. We developed reliability training for management, and that's not just the managers in engineering. That's our plant managers, production managers, our general managers at the locations. Eric mentioned, back then it was 165 locations. Today we're over 200 locations. So we have a big chore there for reliability training for all levels, including our execs. And in bringing our execs on board, that was a real turning point for us. We developed what you might call an audit. We call it a scorecard or an asset assessment tool. We went from the front of the property to the back of the property. We went from the roof to the basement. Everything that was in the building, part of the building, on the grounds, went into the scorecard. And this asset assessment tool helped us to really evaluate what needed to be done, what we expected that piece of equipment or that system or process to do for us and to give us. Next, Eric. And we had a marketing campaign. As you see, we developed this cool little poster. We developed a logo. We developed a tagline. We needed some way internally to get this message out. This wasn't a marketing campaign to go to the outside of the company. We had enough work inside the company, training our own partners, training our teams, making sure they understood where we needed to go with this, and that helped us. It gave us basically a rallying cry to gather around and to help each other learn and go towards a common goal that we developed. Next, Eric. There's the logo with the gears in it. Obviously, safety is a key important part. We had been very good at safety for many years. We borrowed or stole shamelessly, really, the successes that safety had and applied those into the reliability program. Quality, we looked at the quality that we were producing, and we said we can be better, and a reliability program will help us be better, and it saves customers. Productivity saves profits. We were more productive when we didn't have unplanned downtime. And reliability really tied it all together, and that became our rallying cry for this entire program. All right, so the second part of this, every location is effectively staffed. We totally revamped our technician hiring process. That included a technician test, a supervisor test that we developed with the help of Ramsey. That became a key part of our skills assessment that we did in the hiring process, and we included the engineers in the hiring process so that we had a better look at the technical skills and technical abilities that we were bringing on board, and we could work with our locations to give them a better crew, effectively staffed at the right levels with the right skill, complementary skills that we needed in the location. And we had minimum staffing requirements. We had kind of had minimum staffing requirements earlier, but they really weren't what we needed them to be. So as we benchmarked with other companies in and outside of our industry, primarily outside of our industry, we looked at what other companies were doing, how they were hiring, what their staffing requirements were, as far as not only staffing levels, but staffing skill. And we turned again inwardly at ourselves and took a good hard look at what we were doing and changed those staffing requirements so that we had a better shot at getting where we needed to be in the reliability program. The next box, every location eliminates unplanned equipment downtime. As Eric mentioned, we were very good at running to failure. We were very good at experiencing premature failure, premature equipment replacement. That really became an issue with production schedules and unplanned equipment downtime, because we could be down on a machine for anywhere from 16 to 26 weeks before we could get a replacement in its place. And during that time, a plant was suffering. Maybe they were going into overtime. They were adding a shift. They were having to run Saturdays, whatever it was. And because of this unplanned downtime, so we took our production schedules. We looked at the capacities of the facilities, the hours that they needed to run, and we included the reliability part of that formula into that. And that helped us really develop a scope of where we needed to be as far as planning for downtime. We standardized our PMs. As Eric said, at that time, we had 165 locations. We had 165 ways of doing things. We gathered that information from all of our locations. We looked at what was common, what was uncommon. We looked at best practices, and we went back to the manufacturers of the equipment, and we engaged them in helping to develop standardized PMs. So if we had a particular brand of a washing machine or a dryer or a conveyor system or whatever from one location to another, we wanted to standardize those PMs. Doing that, then we could optimize those PMs as time went on. Next, Eric. And we brought on a CMMS system. We looked long and hard at the CMMS systems out there on the market. We tested a few. We really settled in on one that was web-based for us, that worked well. It was able to be controlled from a central location in engineering, and it could be rolled out across all of our locations because all of our locations do the same work. They have the same things to do. The PMs are really essentially almost the same. And the email system that we settled on really worked well for us, continues to work well to this day. And we were very fortunate that we were able to implement that at that time. The next tenet on our vision is every location maximizes asset life. This was something that we thought was maybe a little bit of a stretch. We were already under the gun because we had been running to failure. We had a lot of infant mortality. We had a lot of mortality that we expected to have as time went on. We weren't just going to be able to flip a switch that day and say, okay, we're going to maximize our asset life starting today. We could overcome some of those things that had happened. We could overcome some of the problems with some of the equipment, but there was going to be continued failure because of what our past experience had been. So we introduced some predictive strategies. We brought on ultrasonic air leak testing that we do in our facilities. We brought on our very first predictive maintenance strategy was thermography, and that paid for itself very, very quickly as we brought on the thermography skill and the strategy in our business. And that helped us to kind of put our finger in the dam for a little bit, if you would, stop the leak, stop the bleeding, and start to turn the business around from an asset life standpoint. We started to see almost immediately a positive effect in our RONA, our return on net assets. This is a key indicator on the financial side that our execs really started to look at because they didn't expect to see it as quick as we did either. And so the return on net assets was a huge win for us. We benchmarked not only within our industry, we benchmarked outside of our industry using financial reports that are publicly available so we could see how we stood and how we were improving. And we have been very, very pleased with the effect that we've seen on the return on net assets. And again, we turned the tide using these wins that we had. Where now we knew that maintenance was an investment, not a cost. And this helped us win the battle when we needed more staff. We needed to increase pay scales for incoming staff at our maintenance departments or whatever it was. This helped us to win that battle as we had that discussion with our execs. Next tenet, Eric. All right, now this was really a stretch goal, being widely recognized as an industry leader. We knew who our competitors were within our industry, but we really wanted to be, outside of our industry recognized as well. But this was a stretch, and so we did. We became well recognized as our return on net assets improved as we got out into the world a little bit. We got active in the international reliability community. As Eric mentioned, we went to IMC first time in, I think, 2009, and we continued to be active in that. We've continued to be active in the educational institutions around the country in selected markets, and that has helped us become recognized, and that culminated in 2017 with an Uptime Award for our maintenance safety program, and then in 2019 with the Uptime Award for reliability leadership. And that has been the pinnacle of the efforts thus far in winning these awards at the IMC. So we've been very pleased with that. So as we looked at the vision and we needed to revise the vision, we started to check the boxes. And as we checked these 5 boxes, we said, okay, where do we go from here? What do we do now? What's up next? And how do we proceed? So we met with our CEO, Scott Farmer. He's been a big proponent of our reliability program. He's seen the returns. He's been a huge supporter. And that's him there in the center of that picture holding the trophy. We presented that to him in early 2020, and he challenged us. He said, you need to update that vision. You've come a long way. You've made a lot of successes. It's time to refresh it. And so update the vision. So we started to work on that, and we took that very seriously. We introduced to Scott the uptime elements. And if you've been to the IMC or you've been part of IMC at all, you're familiar with the uptime elements. And so we've continued to look at those and to prepare for even a more robust integration of that into our systems and into our processes. And that is helping us identify more opportunities to improve our processes. And, years ago, we would say we were in 1.0 maintenance or industry 1.0. We went to 2.0, and now we feel like we're headed towards what will be 4.0 for Cintas. We've had to adapt this year, as all of you have, to COVID-19. That's been a stretch for us. It's been a very difficult thing across all industries, all markets, all companies. And as we've done that, that's challenged us to do things more virtually, just as we're doing this webinar today. We're doing this virtually instead of being at Marco Island in December. We have had to do a lot of our training virtually. We've converted over to that. And as we go into locations now, there's obviously things that we can and cannot do anymore related to the COVID-19 protocols that we have to have. So it's been quite an adaptation for us as well. So as we update the reliability vision, we took that challenge. And you see, instead of 5 tenants now, we've got it down to 3. All partners are engaged in maximizing the asset life by pursuing reliability excellence. We felt like we could combine several of the tenants and the words together to make this a little more simple and a little more focused going forward. Every location develops highly skilled maintenance teams. That includes now staffing and skills and training and development of partners. And Cintas continue to be widely recognized as a global leader in reliability. That's kind of what got this started when Scott Farmer challenged us. He said, now we are a global leader and we have the recognition there. So all partners now, from our CEO to everyone down in our plants, participate. They all know the word reliability, and we've seen asset life continue to be maximized. And now our new aim is to be excellent in everything that we do. The next one, we've enhanced our training and development for technicians. We've continued to use the skills assessment in the hiring process, as well as starting to teach uptime elements, starting to get that common technology or common words out there that they will understand as we talk about this. We've continued not only the maintenance safety certifications, but we're engaging now in developing a certification for the technical side of the business, not just the safety side. So as our maintenance partners can achieve a certification, they're going to be learning more about the uptime elements as we go forward. And then lastly, continue to be participants at the IMC and other opportunities that we have in the reliability community. Continue to learn and implement best practices. We're not finished learning. We're far from being finished learning. So we've got much more to go. And we are an advocate for reliability education in technical colleges and universities. Eric has done a lot of work with several universities. I've done some work with technical colleges around, and we're trying to get reliability into those as part of the curriculum. And we've had all kinds of support from our execs for that. So how are we doing? Well, we want to see those green check marks move over onto this sheet here over the next few years as we continue to see improvement in the various areas that we've talked about. We want to get those green check marks over there onto the vision and say, yes, we've done that. It's time to revise this vision again and continue to get better. So we would encourage all of you, if you have a vision, go back and take a hard look at it. Bring in others to help benchmark and look at your location with you, look at your business with you, and be brutally honest with yourselves. And keep that vision fresh. Keep it in front of you. Keep it on the doors, on the walls, on the poster that you hang in the maintenance shop. Keep this out there so everybody has a common goal and can move forward together. So, Eric, I'll turn it back to you for final words.
Thank you, Tommy. And thank you to IMC and all the organizers for this opportunity for us to share something that we're really proud of. As you can tell from this presentation, this was not a short project. This was not a program. This is really a change of mindset in the way, in the perspective of our company, to how we approach taking care of our equipment, taking care of our technicians, and how do we take care of also educating the entire organization into embracing what we call maintenance with a strategy, reliability, so that we could be a more effective business. It all started with us definitely being brutally honest, as Tommy mentioned, and say we are screwing up. We need to clean up our act by being humble, by going to outside of our four walls and attending an IMC conference and learning from others, by being also respectful of the best practices that were being presented to us, and us coming back to our organization and implementing them. And then also by being unselfish, by any time we had a win, to go back to the IMC conference and share those strategies that have proven fruitful for us so that others could benefit and complete the circle. So we're very proud of our accomplishments. We're very proud of the contribution that this vision strategy has brought to our company. But more importantly, we're even more proud of the fact that we're able to be on this type of forum, being able to share with others so that you can help your own business. We all realize that, a well taken care of piece of equipment is a safe piece of equipment. So anytime that we can help somebody improve reliability, we know that we also help improve the safety of another business. And for that, we are very proud and we're very grateful. So thank you, IMC, for this opportunity, and we turn it over to you.